Hello, TikTok. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us for Otters on Ice. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get started in here in just a few minutes, but in the meantime, they're being really cute right now. That's probably not surprising to anyone. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I would love to see some otter emojis in the comments if you are excited for today's TikTok Live. We are here at the Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California with our 3 southern sea otters who you're going to learn all about today. I'm really excited. Hi. Hello. They're just as excited to meet you too, I think, TikTok. Look at them. Welcome, everybody. Yes, we are the Aquarium of the Pacific here in Long Beach, California. And once again, it is Tuesday, which means we are live. We are live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Love seeing the otter emojis rolling in. It's going to be an awesome stream today. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Hello to our fans watching everywhere, especially Sarah, who just popped in the chat. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah, shout out to Sarah. Hello to everybody watching. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, I think we're ready to get started. Are we ready, TikTok? Let's see some more otter emojis in the comments if you're ready to meet our southern sea otters today. Hey, in Florida. Hello here in Long Beach locally. Let me know where you're watching from today. Hi. Yes, lots of otter emojis. Hi in Massachusetts, NYC. Ontario, amazing West Virginia. Welcome, everybody. Canada, Colorado, Tennessee. Some more Canadians watching. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hello to my moderator. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi in Kansas. Oh my goodness, we got so many people here hanging out, ready to meet our southern sea otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. All right, before I officially introduce them to you, TikTok, I'm going to say hello to our mammalogist. Hi, mammalogist Jeff.
Hello.
And mammalogist Megan. Welcome. Hello. TikTok, give them a round of applause. Welcome, welcome. All right, should we get started?
Sure.
All right, I'll get out of your way. We'll switch spots. Cool. So they're heading inside the habitat. There they go, clearing the way.
Water.
I'm so excited, TikTok. Otters probably are some of your favorite animals here on TikTok. Let me know if you like sea otters. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we are going to meet a couple of our sea otters. Hi, Jeff. Who do we have here?
This is Chloe.
Chloe!
And she's, I guess, out of the 3 of them now, I guess she's kind of the middle child now.
Yeah.
So she is, gosh, man, lost the lose track of how old she is now. I think she's, what is she, 7 now?
7? Chloe, are you 7 years old?
She is our middle child. We have our oldest one right now is Betty over there. She's only about a year or 2 older than Chloe. And then our youngest one is Millie. And you'll get a chance to meet Millie and Betty just a little bit later on.
Awesome. So what are some fun facts about Chloe in particular?
Chloe, so she's a little bit different than other sea otters, really. She tends to be she's much more laid back than what most sea otters are. So it's very, very interesting with comparing her to the other otters we have or had in the past, who are sometimes are a bit more high-strung or can tend to be, sometimes they have a little bit more aggression.
Or rambunctious, maybe?
Rambunctious. She is kind of the opposite of that. So, and she has been ever since, even when they've noted that when she's stranded, when she was a pup and she was orphaned, she's always been like that from the get-go. So it was very interesting.
So TikTok, you are meeting potentially the chillest otter on planet Earth.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, she quite possibly could be. So.
Are you the chillest, Chloe? That's why her name starts with a C, because she's so chill. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here live at the Aquarium of the Pacific, hanging out with our rescued southern sea otters. Like Jeff mentioned, Chloe was stranded as a pup, and we're able to provide a home for her and the other otters here at the Aquarium Pacific, which is such an honor for us here at the Aquarium to provide a home for them.
And so yeah, so I actually went up to Monterey and worked with her for about a week before bringing her down here. When she was only about, I think she was about 6 or 8 months old at that time.
Oh wow!
So she was up there for a little bit, and then they were looking for a home for her, and then we were able to bring her down here.
So did you go on a road trip with an otter on the way home?
I luckily did not.
Luckily.
And the reason I say luckily is because even as chill as she is, Sea Otters are known to be very loud. And so apparently our veterinarian and one of our other mammalogists and I think our vet intern at the time got to have the pleasure of sitting in a van with a screaming Chloe for 6 or 7 hours. So luckily, because I had gone up earlier, I had my own car, so...
Oh, there you go. Well, that could be a part of the job.
I did not have to endure that.
Endure 6 hours of sea otter screaming. Okay, so you're telling me an animal this cute, this adorable, makes a screaming sound? It's not very pleasant?
Absolutely.
Can you do it?
I cannot.
You cannot? Bacon, can you make a sea otter sound? Was that so hard, Jeff?
Yes.
That's how I sound all the time. That's how I sound when we're about to go live for TikTok. Woo, let's do this. All right, TikTok.
I try that for like 7 hours straight.
7 hours straight, that's literally me and my coworkers every single day. Well, welcome TikTok, thank you so much for joining us today. We're here live at the Aquarium of the Pacific, hanging out with our sea otters. And if you're enjoying this live stream, you can share it with your friends and your family, so that way they can enjoy these utterly adorable scenes. And just so I want to give you guys a heads up, we are a non-profit aquarium, and we have the ability to donate here on TikTok. I want to give a shout out to our first donor, or 2 first donors. Thank you so much to St. Luke and the anonymous donor for your donations to our nonprofit aquarium. Like I said, we're a nonprofit, so every single dollar that you donate goes right back to the animals here at the Aquarium of the Pacific and our conservation and education program. So we thank you very much. Chloe's just doing a little silent woo for you. Thank you so much for your support. It costs about $2,000 a month to feed each otter, and we have 3 otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. So whenever someone says, oh, I want that as a pet, I always like to give in that fun fact. If you want to spend, not that you can have an otter as a pet, but it is pretty pricey because they eat a considerable amount of food, right, Jeff?
Yes, and that's only one of the reasons why.
That's just one. The screens are another part.
Yeah, these guys can cost like upwards of like $30,000 a year just to feed an otter. So that is a lot of food. They eat like a lot of the highest quality seafood. So here we feed shrimp, as you can see. I've been feeding her these shrimp here.
Yeah.
Which as you can see, she's also very good at taking the shells off without any issue. A lot easier than me. We have clams.
Yeah.
So forget the chowder, just go straight for the clam. And let me see, I might have a squid in here somewhere. Or maybe she ate them all, I don't know.
Maybe she ate all her squid, but she eats pretty much every single day a mix of shrimp, clam, and squid. Yum.
And so those are their main things. So we also give them some other things sometimes as well, including mussels, crabs, including every once in a while, so some of our oldest otters, if any of you guys have been here or know about the aquarium, we've had a couple of otters that have gotten pretty old, and some of the oldest sea otters pretty much ever known. And so towards the end of their lives, unfortunately, we gave them a lot of very fancy seafood. So they're eating some king and snow crabs.
Ooh.
So
the good stuff.
They get the best stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And so they have to eat a considerable amount of food every single day, right, Jeff?
They do. So sea otters, unlike other marine mammals, they do not have any blubber. So their primary way to be able to stay warm is kind of like twofold, actually. One of which is eating a lot of food, kind of creating almost like a little heat furnace in there with all of their high metabolism. And the second thing is this amazing fur that you can kind of see right here. That fur is super dense. We can be up to about 1 million hairs per square inch. And so what that does with that really thick fur, they're able to trap air under that fur. And that body heat, that almost like that furnace kind of going on with the metabolism, warms that air up, and that's how they can stay warm. So it's very important so that they eat a lot and that they maintain their fur, because that fur is super important.
Yeah, that's very important. And it's beautiful, right, Chloe?
It is. Chloe actually does a really nice job of grooming her fur. You're going to meet Betty a little bit later. you'll see that her fur is a little bit different than what Chloe's is, but Chloe does a pretty good job of keeping her fur groomed.
Oh man, and they are utterly adorable. But Jeff, you probably know firsthand, we do not want to approach otters in the wild. Is that right?
Absolutely not. So sea otters, and actually any otters, I wouldn't want to do that. They are part of a family of animals called mustelids, which also includes some other unsavory critters. So things like badgers and wolverines, skunks, weasels, minks, fishers, all those kind of animals. Ferrets are all in that family, and so are otters. And so these guys do have the potential of being aggressive as well. Some other species of otters are maybe a little bit more aggressive than these guys are, but sea otters are one of the largest otter species. They're the heaviest otter species, and only the giant otters are longer than them. So they are fairly large. So you wouldn't want to kind of get into the business end of these.
No, definitely don't want to approach them in the wild. Well, thank you so much to Chloe. Just a reminder, Chloe is 7 years old, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
And I just learned this about Chloe. So Chloe is the smallest, but she has the largest feet, right?
She does.
You got the largest feet.
Which is why she's able to stand so well.
Look at that.
And
stance.
actually, it's funny. Before she came here, the first picture they sent of her was her doing this, and she was way smaller, but her feet seem to be the same size.
Her feet haven't changed since she was a baby. Oh, that's amazing. Chloe, you are adorable, utterly adorable. Thank you so much for introducing her to us, Jeff.
All right, so you're going to get a chance to meet Betty. You see right there.
Betty's
Billy.
next.
So I'm going to have Chloe go to the water here.
All right, everyone say bye, Chloe. And let's give a round of applause for Betty, who might give us a round of applause in return. We'll see. Is everyone having fun so far? Drop a blue heart in the comment if you are enjoying this live stream so far.
You're going to eat Chloe's shells.
So Betty is a really funny otter. So all of our otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific like to de-shell their shrimp, but Betty will just eat them whole, right, Megan?
Yes.
And she likes to clean up after the other otters too.
She's clearly happy doing that, even though I have a bucket full of food.
Yeah, no. Cannot compare to everybody's discarded shells.
Hilarious. Okay.
Oh, she's enjoying it. Everybody say hi to Betty. Betty is our oldest otter on exhibit, right, Megan?
Yep, she's almost 10 years old.
10 years old almost. When's her birthday?
I believe it is in February.
Okay, so we still have a little bit of time before she's officially 10. Amazing.
Betty girl.
Everybody saying hi to Betty. Lots of blue hearts in the chat. And oh my goodness, I want to give a shout out to our 29 donors who have raised almost $500 in this short amount of time. Thank you all so much for your support. Let's give them a round of applause, Betty. That round of applause is for all of you watching us today, and especially the 29 of you who have graciously decided to donate to our nonprofit aquarium. Every single dollar you donate goes right back to the animals and our conservation education program, so we are very thankful. All right, Megan, tell us a little bit about Miss Betty here.
Betty is a funny animal. She is, she's our oldest right now. However, she is kind of a funny creature. She's definitely not the most dominant. Believe it or not, Millie, who's over in the water there, is actually our youngest and most dominant animal.
Millie is the youngest and most dominant, although Betty is the oldest.
Betty is the oldest.
And Chloe is the chillest.
Yes.
So what is Betty?
Betty is kind of dramatic at times.
Dramatic. I love that.
She refuses things in a very big way, which is really funny. She keeps us on our toes all the time. If she does not like something, she'll just take it and leave. She is a really, really, really smart animal, which is really fun to work with because she definitely keeps us in check all the time. What I'm going to work with her right now on is her vitamin syringe, and this is just some ground up plant and water mixed in with her multivitamin that you're going to see. She's
taking it so good. A little vitamin smoothie for Miss Betty today. Everyone give Betty a round of applause for taking her vitamins so well. And that right there you did is called the husbandry behavior, right, Megan?
Absolutely. So husbandry behaviors are anything that helps us take care of the animals. So sometimes that's just a physical body check. Sometimes that is administering meds or vitamins through that syringe. And right now today, she's just receiving a vitamin. There's some vitamins that they could lose in the water thawing process of their food. And so we make that up with these vitamins. There's also some nutrients in there that will help out with their eyesight. Now what's interesting, I'm actually gonna swap out these two, hopefully. And then Madeline, I'll have you help me grab Millie's food.
Ooh, I can do that.
She's not trained yet on syringe behavior, so she gets these nice little frozen treats, and then shortly after that, we are gonna switch out to bring you guys some treats.
Oh, amazing. All right, everybody, get ready to meet Millie, our youngest otter here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Lots of great questions coming in, and I know we'll get to them, so stay tuned. In the meantime, make sure you're following the Aquarium of the Pacific here on TikTok. You'll join us live every single week at 3 p.m. Pacific if you do. Also, we are a nonprofit aquarium with a focus on conservation education. All of the otters here are rescues. We'll talk a little bit more about their conservation stories and how we are so lucky to provide a home for these otters that were deemed unreleasable.
We're going to change up our game plan just a little bit. We're going to bring out some treats.
Treat time! All right, let me get out to right. All right, who is ready for treat time? Let's get some party horns in the chat if you are ready for treat time here at the aquarium with our southern sea otters. Amazing. This is so cool, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's not over yet, and do not worry. We have treats coming up. Love seeing your emojis in the comments. It means so much for you to join us every single Tuesday. What else? Make sure you're following us here on TikTok, and you can also share this live stream with your friends and family so that the way they can enjoy the otterly adorableness that comes with this live stream. Also, if the comments are in the way or the donation stickers in the way, you can also always swipe and it'll get rid of them, so that way you'll have a full screen of otterly awesome view. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so let's ask a question, TikTok. Let me ask you, who has been to the Aquarium of the Pacific before? If you have been to the Aquarium of the Pacific before, let's keep it easy. Let's see some more blue hearts in the chat if you have visited our nonprofit aquarium here in Long Beach, California. Let me know. All right, treat time. Treat time while TikTok answers my questions. What do we have here?
We got a bunch of toys, some frozen clam and water, and food coloring. And then these are what Millie gets for her multivitamins.
Aww.
These are that smoothie that was in the syringe, just frozen into a treat form.
They're so cute, those little flowers.
They are, aren't they?
Adorable. Am I in the way if I'm right here?
Nope,
Okay, cool, perfect. Hello, everybody. Lots of blue hearts in the comments, meaning that you have visited our nonprofit aquarium before here in Long Beach, California. So you might have seen our sea otters in person. Hi, everybody. Yeah, one of them is named Millie. Okay, so just a quick overview. We have Millie, Chloe, and Betty here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Let's see, who is that? That's Betty, right?
Yes, that's Betty.
That's Betty coming up first. Chloe second. And Millie got hers in the water. She's content right there. Oh my gosh, treats galore! So Maggie, can you remind us again, what are these treats made out of?
So these treats are made up of clam smoothies. So we grind up some clam and some water. Sometimes it has food coloring, sometimes it has vitamins, sometimes it has just various types of food sources. And then we freeze it and it becomes a little treat item. And you're probably wondering, why in the world are we giving our animals frozen treats? And the reason behind is that naturally out in the ocean, these animals are going to be foraging off of hard-shelled prey items. They can either bite directly through the shell, that's how powerful their jaws are, or they can utilize other tools to break those prey items open. And so these hard frozen treats allow them to bite and use that natural behavior. So it is a type of enrichment, as well as you'll see a bunch of different Kong toys stuffed full of food. We can utilize those to mimic how they would be pulling prey items out of a shelled food.
Amazing.
So like abalone, sea urchins, different crabs, clams, anything that's a slow-moving hard shell item is what they're going to be seeking out from us.
So cool. And Maggie, would you say that our otters have pretty distinct personalities?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Just like people, we all are all the same species, however, all of our characteristics are just a little bit different, and that is the same exact thing with the sea otters. Sea otters have certain qualities that apply to the entire species, however, they do have different tendencies. Some prefer high energy behavior, some are more accepting of tactile, which is touching, and it really just depends on the animal.
Very cool. So I think we just saw it for a second, but is it true that sea otters have armpit pockets?
They do have armpit pockets. And these pockets are very helpful for them because the natural way a sea otter is going to forage out in the ocean is to dive down pick up a bunch of things off the bottom on that first dive and then come back up and have like a little buffet table on their chest. So they use their armpits to store their food while they're hunting, and then once they're ready to eat it, they kind of use it like a reusable grocery bag.
So we saw when Clint looked like Chloe was limping when she was going back to the water.
Yeah.
That's because she probably had about 5 or 6 of those treats stuffed in her pocket.
So no real limping, just full of treats.
Yeah.
Trying to get back into the water. Amazing. All right, we have some time for lots of questions because I know we have a ton. But first of all, I want to thank our 42 donors who have raised almost $700 for our nonprofit aquarium and the otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Thank you so much. I just saw a question pop up that says, do otters mate for life? That's a great question.
They do not. So they are opportunistically reproducing. They are typically found within some territory. So within that territory, there may be repeat mates depending on who's dominant and who is around during that time, but they do not reproduce for life. They're going to find the most viable mate and go with that no matter who it is.
Oh, great. And then how long do otters live?
Typically out in the ocean, 10 to 15 years is kind of an average. There are always extremes. Out in zoological facilities, you're going to find them living into their early 20s. Here at the aquarium, we had one animal live just past his 22nd birthday, and then 2 others past 20, which is pretty amazing.
That is incredible. And that's just a testament to the amazing care they receive here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. We have an incredible husbandry and vet team. And because these animals are rescues that were deemed non-releasable by U.S. Fish and Wildlife, we're just so lucky to provide a home for them and a space to live here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Very cool. All right, can we talk a little bit about Otter Conservation? So we know that these guys are rescues. How can we help otters that live in the wild?
I would say the easiest thing that you can do is really control the amount of chemicals that you're putting out into the ocean. And I don't mean people are walking up and dumping chemicals into the ocean.
And if you're doing that, please don't.
Right, yes, please stop. But we're talking about people that are over-fertilizing their lawns or using pesticides that are going to help. A lot of times people exceed the normal dose, and anything that's excessive is getting washed out into our storm drains and eventually makes its way out to the ocean. Like we mentioned earlier, otters are eating slow-moving benthic feeders. So typically these are going to be filter feeders, and those chemicals can build up to really, really high concentrations. And when the otter is eating 25% of their body weight a day, and all of that is a chemically concentrated piece of food, it can really affect the animal health.
Yeah. Who do we have? Is that Betty back there?
I was going to say, if you guys know on TikTok,
Chloe.
she's got some treats stuck to her.
She's got a treat stuck to her booty, and it's really cute.
No, Madeline, you're right.
It's Betty? Oh my gosh, Betty's got treats on her booty. That is adorable. Oh, this is a great question. Can you touch them? And I know the answer is no, especially right now. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of why we're not touching them here at the Aquarium of the Pacific right now?
Absolutely. So right now what we're doing is increasing our biosecurity, because sea otters are capable of contracting and spreading COVID-19. And because of this, we are reducing our amount of contact that we have with them directly. So you're going to notice that any staff member that's coming inside the exhibit has an N95 on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hello, Jeff. There's yours.
So
I have one on too, but I'm not showing my face.
I promise she does. And then in addition to that, we're reducing the number of staff that feed them. We do our best to keep a 6-foot distance from them. Of course, we are administering vitamins or medication or just doing general body checks that we do get a little closer than that, but we are much more limited in our interactions with them. So what's really cool is that so far to date, our otters have not contracted it. No one amongst our staff is transmitting this. And we're just being extra careful because we do not have a lot of data on what could happen to them if they contracted COVID-19.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. Cool, everybody. Well, let's give another quick introduction because we have some new people here.
Yeah.
My name is Madeline. I am behind the camera hanging out inside of our sea otter habitat with the silliest sea otters on the entire planet, and also the silliest mammalogists on the entire planet, Jeff and Megan. Hello, hello. And okay, can you remind us who we have on deck right now?
Yep. So on deck we have Betty, who's being a total goober. She is rolling around getting frozen treats.
And how old is Betty?
Betty is about 9.5 years old.
Okay.
Then we have Chloe.
Chloe's closest to us.
About a year younger. She's 7.5. I think she'll be 8 in the winter, like next year. And then Millie, who will be making her way back up here. Millie is about 4.5. So
Got
she's
it.
our youngest and the boss.
And the boss. Youngest and the boss. I'm
Yep.
sure a lot of youngest children probably feel like they are the boss too.
Right.
But as an oldest child, I disagree. But
Right.
that's okay.
I'm right there.
Amazing. So we only have females right now at the Aquarium Pacific. Catching up on your comments right now. Oh, great question. Do they breed? Well, we only have females right now.
Yep.
Do we have a breeding program here at the aquarium for Southern Sea Otters?
We do not. And in fact, no facility in the United States will be encouraging reproduction happening amongst Southern Sea Otters. We always want to have a home for any animal that potentially strands. So we do not want to increase our population of captive animals through reproducing in, zoological facilities.
Yeah.
We'd rather it be wide open for rescue animals.
Definitely. And just a reminder that these are rescued animals deemed non-releasable. And what are some reasons that an animal would be deemed non-releasable?
Some of them could include being abandoned by their mom as a young pup. Chloe was having some neurological disorders as a pup, and we believe that her mom left her because she did not believe she was going to be a viable pup. Luckily, here she
As she just slides in.
her
Hey, you talking about me?
Yeah.
Sliding into your TikTok.
Slide into your TikTok like Chloe.
Some of it could be actual injury related to various things. And then some of it is just a proximity to people. Some animals can get desensitized to people and strand over and over again. At that point, they're deemed non-releasable.
Yeah, definitely, which is why we want to avoid them in the wild.
Story. I think when she was found, there was a female otter found very close to where she was stranded in an orphan that had a shark bite.
Oh,
so
wow.
They think that was probably her mom. They're not 100%. They think that her mom may have been bitten by a shark, which is why she ended up being orphaned.
Yeah. And so Betty survived a shark attack. She's amazing.
Right.
But yeah, we're so lucky to provide homes to these non-releasable animals. All right, catching up on your questions. Do they hold hands in the water while they sleep?
They can.
They can.
It's called a sea otter raft. And a lot of times you'll see this with a mom and a pup or a mom and a juvenile. And what they're doing is really holding on to each other so that when they're falling asleep, nobody floats away and gets separated. We talked at the very beginning about their vocalizations. Young sea otter pups and moms vocalize to each other. It sounds like a very high-pitched shrieking scream. And this behavior allows them to call to one another. So while the mom dives down to hunt for food, the pup stays at the top, and when the mom comes back up, she's calling to find the pup again.
Oh, that's precious. Great question. Why ice? I know that we don't have ice in their natural habitat. Why do we give them ice here at the Aquarium of the Pacific?
So the ice is kind of an interesting thing. It's a twofold item that we use mostly for enrichment. Betty here, who actually
Just slid out.
slid into the water.
Yep.
Betty is not a great groomer. She was never taught by her mom to groom because she was stranded at such a young age. And the ice helps absorb some of that salt water. So it actually helps her to kind of initiate her grooming, and it helps drag her out a little bit more. The other reason that we do it is it's fun. You can see him eating it.
Yeah, it's really
Like to
cute.
chomp on it.
And it's that good ice too. It's that pebble ice.
Fresh
Check that out.
ice.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So good. And a couple of great questions coming in. Do they fight ever? And do they bite?
Yeah, sea otters, I mean, they're constantly establishing dominance. So that's what you're going to see most oftentimes is them establishing dominance. The way that they do that is by, I guess you could call it biting. They're going to bite each other or push each other, very similar to my
Might have
children.
even heard that little squabble.
Yeah, we had a little squabble a second ago.
And,
You don't heard
and
it.
most of this is just dominance protecting either food or young or just the territory in general. So for the most part, they get along really, really well, but when they do have these times where a subdominant animal challenges Millie, she will put her back in her place pretty quickly.
Just gotta remind them.
Yep.
Very
And the
cool.
natural way that they're interacting with each other is to do a lot of biting and touching and wrestling. That's very, very normal sea otter interaction.
And it's always a good reminder that if it has teeth, it's going to bite. So definitely.
You can see see Betty's coat and how slick and sheen it is
Yeah.
versus Chloe's. Betty's is very poorly groomed right now, so this is nice that she's out on the ice. As she spends a little bit more time up here, you're going to notice that that's going to kind of separate a little more and look a little more like Chloe.
So we have Betty over here, Chloe closest to us. Well, now Betty's closest to us. Chloe behind her.
Yep.
She's like, oh, who me? Who me? You're talking about me and my beautiful coat? Look at that sea otter belly. What a cutie pie. And then Miss Millie in the water hanging out, doing her own thing.
Speaking of their teeth, if you guys were around a little bit earlier and you saw Chloe doing her open mouth.
Yeah.
No, I know you
Don't feel like
But
it.
if you saw her open mouth before, otters have two very distinct types of teeth. In the front, they've got the very things same type of teeth you might be familiar with if you have canines, like dogs. So they have a very similar kind of carnivore, big canines, smaller, sharp front teeth. They have those in the front. In the back, because these guys do eat a lot of hard-shelled items, they also have very big molars that they can use to help crush a lot of those items. So they two very distinct types of teeth. You wouldn't really want to get bit by either set of them, but it's really interesting the differences between the two different types of teeth that they have.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh my goodness, everyone. We're having so much fun hanging out with our sea otters. And I think they're having a lot of fun as well. So they're playing a lot with toys and doing a lot of like smacking them on things. What is that kind of behavior mimicking?
So that behavior is mimicking them trying to break a shelled prey item open. So out in the ocean, they can either bang their food on rocks, or what they'll do is pick up a rock from the bottom, take a clamshell, and then pound it together kind of like a hammer. So that's what you're seeing Millie do right now. There are a couple pieces of shrimp in there that she is working hard to get out.
She is determined.
She really is. Oh my Betty.
Okay, Betty.
You can see her little slug trail.
Yeah, little slug trail. I love it.
That is so funny.
So speaking of Betty's grooming, why is grooming for sea otters so important?
Grooming for sea otters is so important because their fur is one of two very, very important adaptations they have to stay warm. Sea otters do not have blubber like most other marine mammals. They just have an incredibly high metabolism, which is called their metabolic furnace, and that helps keep them warm. And then the second thing is that fur, and the fur is so dense, and when they are well groomed, so perfectly oiled that they're actually not getting their skin wet at all. The only places that touch the water would be the nose and the pads of their front paws. Those are very similar to a cat paw. So those are really the only naked parts of the sea otter. And so their fur is so important to be well groomed because that's keeping them warm, and by keeping warm, it's really allowing them to protect themselves from various insects.
Amazing. So do sea otters need water to survive?
So all the water, and I think I understand your question, but I'm going to answer it in two ways. All the water that they need to stay hydrated comes from the food that they eat. So right now they're eating ice, and that's fine. They're not really they're getting some hydration, but it's not a ton. But what we are, as far as temperature regulation goes, yes, they do need water or something very, very, very cold. Butter, I'm going to go ahead and step in here with Madeline and grab a couple more toys.
No problem.
Betty, you want to come on in? Betty's like, what are we doing?
Where are we going?
Come on in. I'm going to come back with a couple more toys.
Awesome. All right, everybody. I'm all just stepped out for a second. Let's check in on the romp. Did you guys know that a group of sea otters is called a romp? Which I think makes a lot of sense. How's everyone doing? Are you enjoying the stream so far? Let's see some otter emojis in the chat if you are enjoying watching our 3 southern sea otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. Love to see it. I want to give a shout out to our 49 donors who have raised over $700 for our nonprofit aquarium. Thank you so much for your support. That's incredible. Oh, great question. In the meantime, Jeff, can you tell us any tips for someone who wants to work with sea otters?
Sure. So we get the questions a lot of times of how, what's the best way to get into this field. So the best thing advice that we have is to make sure you go to school. Sometimes, interesting enough, a degree isn't always the most important of a thing, but getting a degree is important. So if you want to major in something like biology, marine biology, that's good. Animal behavior management, but even psychology, that works as well. And then on the other side, also trying to get any kind of experience you can working with animals, whether that be at your local vet hospital, that may be helping out, volunteering there. If you, depending where you live, if you have like a farm nearby, helping out there, an animal rescue and rehab center. Even sometimes it's something as simple as getting experience working at your local pet store, maybe even. So any of those ways that you can kind of get that initial experience working with animals, and then eventually getting up to, you know, internships, volunteering with at places like a zoo or aquarium can also help as well.
Amazing. And Jeff, will you answer TikTok's favorite question? I think you know what that's going to be.
Sure.
Do sea otters fart?
They do, and Chloe farts more than the others.
Chloe right here is the biggest. She's very chill, but she loves to fart.
Yes.
It happens. This is a great shot of her little ear. I didn't realize how visible sea otters' ears are.
It's really interesting because people, when they come here, and you see them when they're swimming in the water, they can actually move their ears.
Oh, wow.
So you see how they're, where Chloe's at, you kind of see how they're kind of facing backwards here when they're on land.
Ear right
when they're in the water, to waterproof them, they actually turn them downwards.
Aww.
And they actually are facing, like, instead of facing to the back, they face like almost straight down. Maybe not quite all the way straight down, but they kind of go straight, kind of down a little bit, and that helps keep the water out from there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
There is just so much cuteness happening inside of the exhibit right now. Let's give another introduction to our sea otters. We have Betty.
Yep.
We have Chloe here.
Yep.
And we have Millie. Millie is our youngest. That's her right here. Betty is the oldest. Chloe's our middle child. And you can see that they all look pretty similar at first glance. But I'm thinking that within the next couple years or so, they're going to start looking a lot different.
Yeah, and you can almost even see with Chloe, her head's a little bit lighter than the other two. Millie's probably the next lightest one, and then Betty's kind of all the way
Betty
dark.
kind of stays, she stays
Chloe
dark.
even has a little light spot on the top of her head. When the light hits it right, you can kind of see.
Yeah, and so just like us, otters go gray as they get older. So you might have seen some of our previous otters here at the Aquarium of the Pacific before have more gray on their head, and that'll happen to these guys eventually. But I think Betty just has really good genes because her and Ollie, moved to another aquarium, Ollie turned gray pretty young in her life, and they're pretty close in age, but Betty still maintains her dark locks, so it's very fascinating.
Yeah, and a lot of it's genetics, because typically sea otters are lighter on their heads and on their, sometimes it even goes down to their paws and their chest areas, and they can be anywhere from like almost like whitish to a silvery to almost like a golden yellowish color. Or some of them will stay almost like this their whole lives. So it really kind of depends. In general, most otters do get lighter in their head, though. I mean, that's what most people recognize when they see them.
Yeah. So do you think each of our otters has a favorite food?
I would say there's probably some that have a least favorite.
Least favorite, probably. Yeah.
I would say that probably Betty's least favorite are the squid.
Sorry, Chloe.
100% for that.
That's Betty's least favorite, squid?
I think Millie might be squid also, but she tolerates it more than, like, sometimes Betty will just flat out drop it and let the fish eat it. Millie will kind of tolerate it. Chloe kind of likes everything.
Chloe's game for whatever.
She's a little bit more
That's
well-rounded
so
in her food preferences.
That's amazing. You guys, we are already at over $800 raised for a nonprofit aquarium. Did you know that it costs about $2,000 a month to feed each otter? And I would love to say that TikTok fed one of our otters for half the month. If you can get us to $1,000 in this live stream, that would be amazing. If you can't donate, I totally understand. A great way to show support for our nonprofit is to like, share, comment on our videos, tune into our lives every single week on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, and also share them with your friends and family. It means the world when you show us so much love, and you always show up for us TikTok, so we're so appreciative. All right, let's answer some more questions. We're gonna hang out with just otters today. But stay tuned for next week. I'm really excited about next week's live. We're going to go on a dive. So we're actually going to go inside of our tropical reef habitat. We're going to go underwater with you all. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Well, someone said they're visiting the Aquarium of the Pacific in October. Shout out to you. It's going to be a very, very fun month here at the Aquarium. If you want to visit the Aquarium of the Pacific, you can. We are fully open to the public. You just need to make a reservation before you do, and you can do so at the link in our bio. Catching up on your comments, let's see. Can we pet them? No, we are not petting our sea otters right now as they are susceptible to COVID. So we are limiting our contact with them. But let's talk a little bit about the health care that they receive here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. What does that look like, Jeff?
Yeah. So these guys, on a daily basis, we kind of just always do an overall check, visual check on them. We can look at their eyes, ears, nose. Betty and Chloe, we saw Chloe earlier, they have voluntary open mouths, so we can check their mouths as well. Chloe also has been trained to get her teeth brushed, so we do that occasionally as well. They also do have annual exams, so our veterinarian can about once a year. For when they get older, sometimes it's twice a year, but we can take them down to our Molina Animal Care Center, and there they'll get pretty much a full gamut of veterinary tests. So same thing if you were to take your dog or cat to the vet, it'd be the same thing for otters. They would get the whole 9 yards, blood draws, they get their teeth cleaned, so all of that kind of thing, and they get that, like I said, once a year.
Yeah, and that just goes to prevent any other health issues, because these animals are from the wild. They were rescued and deemed non-releasable, so they're getting health care that's going to definitely extend their lifespan and keep good care of them and make sure they're eating good. I know they get a lot of teeth exams too, make sure those chompers are looking good. Oh, what's something really cute's happening? That is adorable.
That's
it's a little snuggle. That's really cute, you guys. So who do we have on deck right now? We have Betty staring right at us.
That's Betty and Millie over there.
And Millie doing a little cuddle pile.
Right below.
Chloe's hanging out right below us. Where are you? There she is.
Hi, Chloe.
All right, everybody. This was so much fun. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Let's see if we should wrap up with a couple more questions.
Sure.
Let's see. Do we put ice in here every single day?
No, because we like to try to keep that variable.
Yeah.
So we gave them ice today. I think they got ice a few days ago, but they didn't get any ice yesterday or the day before. So we kind of mixed it up for them, and also depending on like how much we put out for them, we might mix that up a little bit too.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's a fun
we also mix up where we put it. So sometimes we put it here, sometimes we'll put it on the other side or around the corner. But yeah, we try to keep a lot of the things variable so they don't get stuck into a routine of doing the same thing each and every single day. They would probably love it if we gave them ice every single day, but we do try to keep it novel for them.
Keep it, yeah, once in a while. Keep it as a treat. Very cool. Oh, great questions all coming in. We're getting so many questions. Okay, keeping up. Do you think they have a favorite toy?
Some of them absolutely do have a favorite toy. And I don't believe it's in here right now, but there's like a little orange like plastic ball that Millie will carry around with her all the time. She'll have it in her, stick in her pocket. Sometimes she'll actually swim, and you can see like the Chloe's big rear flipper there.
Yeah.
So Millie will actually hold that ball sometimes in her rear flipper. She'll carry that around.
It's really cute. So that's a good way to tell them apart if you are visiting us in person and you see an otter just very skillfully playing with an orange ball, a little basketball star. That's Millie.
Yeah. Other ones, like some of these guys do, like Chloe likes a lot of different types of toys. Again, some of them, like Betty, there are some toys for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just the texture of it, because we give these guys all they can see. Some of them, there are like a lot of them are Kong toys, like you might give to your dogs. Some of them she just doesn't like the texture of touching, and she won't retrieve them, she won't touch them, or whatever.
I'm gonna peek over here. Let's see what's happening on this side. I got a little step stool here, everybody. All right, let's take a peek. Hi guys, I'm up here now. What you doing? Let's see. Some groom time. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're so close to $1,000 raised. Thank you all so much for your support. That's incredible. We are a nonprofit aquarium with a focus on conservation and education. So that money that you donate 100% goes right back to our mission here at the Aquarium of the Pacific. And that also includes your ticket sales, your donations. Anytime that you are visiting the Aquarium of the Pacific, that is a way to support us as well. So we want you to come visit us in person, see these animals in person, and fall in love with them even more. I saw someone say that, can you virtually visit? You can. So every Tuesday we are live at 3 p.m. Pacific, but we also have a ton of virtual programs on our website, and you can find out more information about that at the link in our bio. Yeah, let's see. It's kind of hard to see them at this angle. There we go. So they're getting their groom on in the water. They're making sure that their fur is nice and fluffy. We are located in Long Beach, California. I saw that pop up. So did you learn anything new about sea otters today? Let me know in the comments if you learned something new. What is their fur like? It's really dense, right guys?
Yeah, it's really dense. It's really soft too, but unfortunately for sea otters, that actually becomes a big problem for them. In the early, I guess it was like the late 1800s or in the early 1900s maybe, these guys were actually hunted for their fur, and their numbers, for southern sea otters in particular, like these guys, their numbers were depleted down to only about 50 animals and just off the central California coastline.
Wow.
So, and they actually thought they were extinct for a little bit until they found a small population of them. So all the southern sea otters that are currently living off the coast of California are pretty much from that group of 50 that they found.
Wow.
But yeah, so now they've been protected, so they have rebounded. But that fur is very special. It's very amazing. It's super soft and very dense.
Yeah, and they have more fur in this size than an entire German Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's incredible. All right, everybody, we hit $1,000 raised thanks to 70 supporters. Thank you all so much for your help, your support here. I'll take a little round of applause from Miss Betty there. That's just for you, TikTok. We appreciate the love and support. Even if you didn't donate today, you just being here means the world. We're so appreciative. You show up for us every single Tuesday. And we'll be back again next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Right, Betty? And we can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much, TikTok. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.